We're going to make ant traps today out of icing sugar, borax, and peanut butter and borax. You're going to need some supplies. What these are meant to be is a little more friendly if you have pets like dogs and cats or small children. Some of the everyday supplies you're going to need are stiff straws. You can get those at the dollar store. They come in big bundles. So I got some bendy ones and some regular ones. You can use cotton balls, which I suggest you do. Some ants like more of a wood type texture. Others like the protein and sugar type texture. So we're going to use both. The drill bit I'm going to suggest you use is one that just barely fits in the straw. The reason is that you're going to poke holes in these little containers, and you don't want the straw with the poison that you're going to be putting for the ants to come out accidentally. So if your drill bit just sort of fits in the straw, that's what you want. Now, these, I picked them up at the dollar store, and I thought that they're, the 99-cent store, and they work pretty well. A cotton ball will fit perfectly in there, and the smaller ones, once you cut the small straws with the stuff in them, and I'll show you how to do that later, work very well to put the ant trap in and keep nosy little kittens and doggies and small children from getting close to it. Now, if you have kids that are very resourceful, or dogs that are very resourceful, you might, instead of these, you might want to try some pill bottles that have the child-proof opening, and that would work as well. All right, I have my tops of my lids to my crafts, and I have my trusty drill. Now what I do, because this is my kitchen table and I don't want to poke holes in the table, just take a piece of old wood. You can get this at any construction site. They'll gladly give you a piece of wood. And you use that so that you can drill into the little plastic caps and put some holes in it so the ants can crawl in, and put your ant trap stuff that you've made back in there and have the ants come in but not have the ant traps fall out. So, and you don't need a lot of holes, maybe 4. So what you do is you hold it down and get some glasses, get some safety glasses. I wear them so I don't have to worry. And what you want to do is just drill a couple of holes. I like to do 3 or 4 or 5. Maybe another one in here. And what you're going to have, once it's done, so you'll have holes for the little ants to go through, but when you put the little straws in with the stuff we're going to make, they won't come through. The straws actually won't fit through there. So there's no accidental of them falling out if you put them in behind furniture or underneath furniture. Even if the cat was to play with them, the chances of it falling out are, eliminated a little bit. All right, next we're going to make the solution that we're going to put in the straws and on the cotton balls, which is what the ants are going to be attracted to. And they're going to take little tiny pieces, little tiny pieces of it away and bring it back to the hive. More on that in a bit. What you want is plain old borax. It's the powdered stuff. Keep your kids and your animals away from it. It's not good for them. You pick it up in the washing section where you'll find like your detergents and that for clothes washing. What you want to do is get rid of all the lumps, and you're going to take plain old icing sugar, and you're going to go about half and half because they're attracted to sweet things. You don't mix the borax in with the icing sugar, whatever you do. Don't mistake the two. If you don't have icing sugar, you can always put just a cup of plain old sugar in a blender and keep zinging at it, and it'll get powdery eventually. But I have some because I was baking cookies at Christmas. And what you want to do with this is mix it around. And for the icing sugar and borax, what you want to do is add water. And make it, don't put too much, just a little bit at a time. What you want to do is almost make it like a paste. So you can get soupy consistency, and you're going to throw all this out later, so you don't want your animals and your kids and your critters and outdoor animals getting into this either. what you're going to do is you're going to take a cotton ball, you're going to stick it in there and get it good and wet. And since I'm doing two, I'll put 2 cotton balls in there and saturate it. And you're going to put it in the big one. Oops. It's okay if you get a little bit on the top because you want something that's going to attract the ants, by the way. So then you put the top on and see they've got the holes, so the ants are going to be able to go in and take some of the goo out and be done with it. Put it on there. And we're recording? Yep, we are. So we're going to do this. We're going to put another one in for the big guys. And stick them in there. And again, don't worry too much because we are going to hide these, okay? So you do want a little bit, even with your finger. Just put a little bit in. You're going to wash your hands afterwards anyway. You're going to put these in a spot where the ants can get at it, and they're going to carry it back to the hive. The other one is peanut butter, because some ants like protein as opposed to sugar. This seems to attract both because it's sweet. Peanut butter is sweet and there is added sugar in it. But if you put, I used an old jar of peanut butter. I sort of hid it so I don't get in trouble with the manufacturer. What you want to do is pour borax into the lower bottom and sort of make it the consistency of bread dough or cookie dough. And now you're thinking, okay, how am I going to get this stuff into the straws? Simple. As long as you have a stiff straw, you're going to be able to do this. And when you poke at it, guess what happens? It pokes and it goes all the way up into the straw. So you're getting some in the straw. And I saw this and I thought this was a neat idea. And then what you're going to do is very carefully cut these into small sections of, 3/4 of an inch, and place 2 or 3 into the smaller ones. And again, they won't come out. Okay. We now have the ones with the cotton balls, and we have the ones with the peanut butter and borax and the sugar and the little ones. What I suggest to do, if you have small animals or small children and you're still afraid that they potentially could get into these, there's a couple of places you can hide them. One is in behind a couch or furniture that butts onto a wall. Or what I like to do with them, because ants do tend to like to come in where there's cracks around windows, patio doors, window sashes, that kind of a thing. They like to come in through the cracks there because they're very small and very industrious and they can come through. I like to put them in the vents that actually you usually find close to windows, particularly in the upper climates where the heat comes up from the furnace registers, what have you. Because they're down low, the ants can find them, and because they're out of sight, out of mind, animals and children tend to leave them alone and they don't even know they're there. Alright, so what we're going to do is put one of these into the vent, the bottom, and essentially you just leave it in and you put it right into the vent, leave it, and the ants will find them. If you're still concerned, you can always put a small screw into here so that the kids can't mess them up and the dogs can't paw them up. You're going to have more trouble, let's say, with something like peanut butter because the dogs can smell it. So put a little screw nail in here to prevent anybody from lifting these at work. But, it's up to you. All right, that's actually where my little ants are coming in, underneath the baseboard, right underneath the window. And outside I have a garden, so it's probably they have a nest somewhere out there. And last year I actually had a little stream of ants that had discovered a cough drop that one of my cats decided was a great thing to play with and accidentally lost underneath my dresser. So the ants had a nice little stream going back and forth from a very gooey cough drop, and that's what they were feeding on. So in order to get rid of them, I had to get rid of the cough drop and put these bait traps in instead. So what I've done is it took me about 2 days to get rid of them. You don't kill the ants. When you actually see them streaming back and forth from the place where you put the baits, you actually do not kill them. You let them bring it back to the hive, because what you want to do is it will infect the hive. The borax will actually infect the hive and will kill the other ants, and eventually will kill the queen. You can see there's a little ant going through there right now. Anyway, he's looking for food and I'm going to give it to him. All right, so I'm going to put a couple of these in here. And again, my cats don't seem to go anywhere near the register, so I'll drop them in. The ants will find them. They're actually streaming past there. And the other place, if you look on the floor, you'll notice where the ants are coming and going. So they may have found a food source, maybe a crumb or something along the way, or maybe who knows, because cats like to bat things around. I'm going to actually also put one in behind my dresser, because that's where the ants were going. There again, there was probably something there at one point, and I'm going to put a nice big one, the big cotton ball one, because there's lots in there. I'm just going to remove it so the cats can't get it. Lay it on the floor. And presto, the ants will find it, and within 24 hours to 48 hours, the ants will go away. Again, don't kill the ants, because what the ants have to do is bring the bait poison, the borax, back to the hive to infect the other ants, and that will eventually kill the hive. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you get rid of your ants. Have a good day. Oh, here's one of my nosy cats. This is the one that brought the cough drops. Hi there. Say hi. Hope you get rid of your ants.